What is going on, guys? This is EK1 Gaming here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at TU11.1 and how broken it really is. Now, before we get into the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, and the little notification bell. We are so close to those 20,000 subscribers. But with all that said, let's get straight into the video. And here we are. TU 11.1 is finally here. Everyone was excited for this update, and partly for the fact of the whole directives affecting how much target loot you get, or affecting the chances of target loot, should we say. So basically we went in today just as a 2 and a 3 man, and then I did some solo as well on stream. We did 9 directives, which is every directive on, which should give us 9% more chance of the loot being target loot. Now, we thought this is going to be the best idea to farm, and it's going to be the easiest way to farm. However, we're sadly mistaken. Now, one thing with the 9 directives is, yes, it is hard as hell. Like, it's very hard. If you're a solo player, I believe that you're probably really going to struggle with this. I don't think you'll end up doing it with 9 directives on Legendary like we are. I honestly don't believe that a solo player will do it. If one does, then that's perfect, fantastic. But me, I am not going to waste my time trying to do this solo. So the first things first, yeah, it's too hard for solo players, of course. It's Legendary, 9 directives. And they did give a little advisory out on the patch notes that, look, level 9 is hard. Do it at your own risk. So that's fair enough. It's meant to be hard. Now, the loot quality. Let's talk about loot quality in the Summit. In the Summit, loot quality is not that great anyway. It's okay for Legendary, you know, it's not too bad. However, gotta remember that with TU 11.1, they never said the quality of the loot or the quantity of the loot would be more. And this is where people are getting mixed up a little bit. People are thinking that with the directives, you're going to get more loot. You're not going to get more loot. You're getting the same amount of loot. However, that loot that drops on the ground has a higher chance of being the target loot you select. So we selected Providence, or I selected Providence, and we went through like 10 levels with 9 directives on Legendary, and I got probably about 6 pieces of gear. So that's, for one, is terrible. So it's almost like the drop rate went down, rather than any kind of increase in the target loot. Every drop had a bit of target loot in it. So it was cool, you know, like it did have the target loot, which is fine. So what we did after that is we thought we'd experiment, and, you know, after multiple doubters and basically getting pushed back with no armor, no ammo, all that good stuff. Basically, I tried just Legendary on my own solo by taking all directives off. And let's see, you know, what kind of loot come, or what kind of loot we got, or how often loot dropped. And so we did a little test on stream, and it turns out the loot's actually better with no directives on. So somewhere along the line, the devs have gone into the game with 9 directives. The loot doesn't drop as often. For one, you hardly get any loot, and that's including the loot boxes. Like the key, you know, where you pick up the keys and you get the loot boxes. You used to get like 4 or 5 pieces of gear from them. You only get 2 pieces of loot from that now. So they've lessened the quantity of the loot. And the quality of the loot with 0 directives and 9 directives is the same. Of course, because the directives are not affecting quality. However, what I did find is I am still getting target loot every single drop. It doesn't matter whether I have 9 directives or no directives. I am getting that target loot bump. Like, the target loot has just been bumped as a general. And knowing Massive, you know, they probably just messed up and meant to put it at 9 and they pressed 0 by accident. Because the 2 keys are next to each other and they are very incompetent, they've probably not just checked and they've just put, oh, here we go, everyone can have the target loot. Now, I'm not complaining because it makes it easier for us guys who are wanting to farm for gear. There is a high increase in target loot, of course, in Summit, which is fantastic. And I'm not going to rant on about the whole thing. However, there were some other issues as well. One of those issues were we were being shot through walls and doors again. So that's not impressive, you know. That's not cool, because that was meant to have been fixed. And even I got killed by a downed NPC. So I got killed by an NPC that was on the ground dead. He was laying in the doorway. I walked over near him and I dropped dead. So unless they're bringing zombies into the summit, I don't know what's going on there. That's obviously a big bug. Now, it's also, I've found, is the challenge aspect of the summit now has kind of just is gone, you know. I know people are going to want to do it in a team and stuff with 9 directives, get 1 to 100, which is fantastic. It's good to see people that are competitive doing that. But for the general player, I think that the fun is kind of, you know, it's kind of gone in the game now, in summit mode at least. So, you know what? We're not going to talk about summit anymore. There's loads of bugs in there. The loot's terrible. Well, it's not terrible, but the loot is the same with 9 directives as it is with 1. So let's say it's terrible with 9 directives because the target loot drop rate is still the same. If you don't believe me, go and watch my last live stream. You can see it all live. The grenade spam, I just want to mention actually while we're there, grenade spam is even worse now, and that's something that they need to address when you've got NPCs spamming 4 and 5 grenades at you one after another, and you can't even roll out the way because when one hits you, the next one's on its way already. Now, let's go into kind of heroic missions. So we tested out some heroic missions, and again, target loot was up. You know, with no directives, just heroic, no directives. Target loot was actually really good. I went and did Jefferson Trade Center, and I got a hell of a lot of mods today, which was today's loot. So, you know, the target loot's really up all over the place, which is a good thing, of course. I then went into PvP and tried out the shield. The shield does take a bit more damage. I didn't really notice it that much, but I struggled to find players to even engage and fight with. However, you know, it did go down quite quick, the shield, but the time to kill still remains kind of the same as before. I find myself still shredding players as quick as I did before, or if not quicker in some instances. But that just depends on what builds they're running and how they're running it. But overall, the amount of doubters, the amount of, you know, empty promises, well, this loot's fixed, and, you know, you don't worry, we're going to have this, we're going to have that. There's still a huge issue of the quality of loot, and of course the quantity of loot has been lowered. I guarantee it. I guarantee somewhere they have lowered the quantity to make up for a little bit more quality or a little bit more target loot. And that's what I kind of called before they released 11.1. And of course today we have the news there's no state of the game now until November, where they're going to be talking about TU12. Now, they've only just brought out TU11.1 today, and they're already releasing TU12 in November, which hopefully they're going to really revamp the whole game. And I keep saying this, I think what they're doing is just keeping us on a little string, like a puppet, and just leading us on to the next title update. And then it's just going to be a fail, then they'll lead us on to 13, 14, 15, and then they'll just pull the plug on the game. I don't really know what they're going to do with title update 12. I'm looking forward to seeing what they are going to do, or what they say they're going to do, and to see whether they actually do anything with PvP. Now, if you haven't watched the PvP video, make sure you go and watch that. Leave me your feedback, because I'm going to be doing a video on that feedback and sending it to the devs. I don't know if they're going to listen or not. Probably not. But hey, at least we can say we've tried. Guys, let me know in the comment section below any comments or any problems you've had in title update 11.1. I'm expecting there to be a maintenance in the next few days to fix some of these issues. But take care, everybody, and I'll see you all in the next video. Let's go!